In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with all of you the top 3 stocks to keep in your watch list for tomorrow. I'm also going to be looking at the overall markets to get you guys prepared and ready as always. And we're going to do an update on some of the stocks that I've mentioned in the last video. Alright, y'all, let's dive into the charts right off the bat. So right now, with the way the overall market is looking, it's looking kind of sus. Today it started out a little bit bearish. If you just look at the SPY futures, right, it was leaning bearish slowly until the PPI report came out. The PPI report came out, then we saw a big spike going into the close. And then we had a sell-off to retest yesterday's low right here. It retested it. It was kind of looking like a bear flag cooking in between this range until it finally broke out of there. All right. Now, are we going to see a massive trend reversal? Right? Are we going to see stocks go higher and higher in bullish momentum? I would say that there's a lot of ambiguity in the markets. Like, pay attention to this. Pay very close attention to this. So we're gonna go on the daily chart and look at, this is the SPY futures, right? And when I see this is not telling me that the bulls are in complete control. There are short sellers located here, and there are also short sellers located here, right there. And until they get taken out, the trend is not shifting, okay? And also keep in mind, there's a lot of people who will probably be very, very greedy, or who've been greedy after today's move and are still trying to hold way beyond the move after the ascending triangle, especially for the NASDAQ, right? With this structure right here, typically you want to take your money off the table right there. This is where you want to collect your money and be happy about what you just did. To be greedy up here is playing a very dangerous game. Very, very, very dangerous game. Because we've seen before in the market, whenever there is these massive moves, especially the ones like look like this, the next day, more often than not, there could be a huge move to the downside with the same magnitude. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if we saw that. All right. Now, another reason why I say this is because I showed y'all the SPY already. The daily chart bears are still taking over. QQQ on the NASDAQ, this one looks like it's trying to be bullish. It looks like it wants to be bullish, all right? But if we look at the other indices, like let's say the Dow Jones, which is DIA, the Dow Jones looks like this. This one was the weakest out of all of the indices, the weakest performer. It didn't really do too much. It ended up being a hammer, just a little bit bigger than a doji, but the situation is still very bearish on here. All right. And if we also look at the Russell, which is IWM, the Russell 2000, this one is also very, very bearish. So did we see a trap, or are we going to see a trap in the morning? That would be confirmed based off of how we open. If again, look on the left side right here. If the futures, the ES and the NASDAQ and Q, if those open at negative 0.35 to negative 50 to negative 0.50%, then today's bulls are going to panic tomorrow, and there will be a big sell-off, probably like right out the gates, that will carry on throughout the entire day. And then next week we will continue on with the sell-off. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards because of the ambiguity in the markets. All right, now the first stock that I want to share with all of you, this one is for the bulls. In case I'm wrong and we see everything go higher and higher, there is a setup on this stock right here on Google. All right, now we're gonna zoom out on Google. First and foremost, it's trading near all-time highs. Yes, it is a bit very, very risky to trade near all-time highs, but at the same time, it could be a big momentum play. I see right here a cup and handle. We have the cup, which I drew for y'all right here. Again, this is the cup right there. And then the handle is on the right side right here. This is the handle. And this is the break of the cup and handle. Now we're going to zoom into the chart, into the 4-hour. And in the 4-hour, if you look on the right side, there's actually two structures that I want to share with y'all. One turned out kind of sloppy and then behaved again, and then the other one just broke out today. So this is the sloppy one. There was an ascending triangle that provided a long opportunity. I saw this thing the day before it. This was a Friday, and then this is a Monday when it broke out, right? So it broke out. Those contracts went up by 300 or 400% on that day, and ever since then it's been playing a whole lot of games, and we've seen this thing kind of whipsaw around the line of resistance. So that's the first structure. The price target that I had on there since that breakout was way up here at like 166. All right, and right now with the way it's looking, it actually gives me some confidence that it might actually reach it if it doesn't follow anything that the indices do, if it just moves on its own. So first structure. The next structure is here. We're gonna remove that, and the next structure is pretty much the same thing but a bit shifted more to the right. It's right there, an ascending triangle that happened and broke out today. Let me judge. There it is. All right, so it happened, it cooked, and then it finally broke out at like 2 p.m. right here, right above 158.50. All right, and the price target for that one typically it's up here, typically. So keep Google in your watch list. Now that I've mentioned this, I have to share what it's not supposed to do. Right? If you see the stock going below 158.15 cents, if it drops here, the play is dead, and it's not going to make it. All right, a clean structure is not supposed to linger here for too long. It's either supposed to open really high and pop to 165, or open up at the same price and sprint out the gate to 165. It's not supposed to play a whole lot of games in here and drop back in this structure. If it does, then the structure is nullified and you should look for something else to make money on. All right, so that's the first stock. The next stock to look at for tomorrow, that one is reporting earnings, and that's Progressive. Okay, now I want to share Progressive PGR with y'all because it has earnings in the morning before the market opens, and if you look at the daily chart, it looks like this. All right, this is for the bears, and I think that the reaction to earnings is going to be negative because of how the stock have been doing throughout the last few months. Okay, from this was the last report where it actually tanked, but this was way in July of last year, and since then every other earnings report have been positive, jumping here and also jumping here. And the next one, I think it has a lot of room down. I do. All right, so watch this one for an opening around 190. That would be the first indication that it could actually fall. And also you got to look at the first 5-minute candle. It's very important. So the move to around 180 actually depends on how the reaction is and how the first 5 minutes, what color that is, and how big the volume is during those 5 minutes. Pay attention to these little details for tomorrow for this stock. All right, now the third stock that I want to share with all of you, that stock is ROOT. All right, now ROOT, this is a stock that I founded yesterday. This is the bubble that I found literally 17 minutes before the market opens. I saw it on 17 minutes before the market closed. I saw it on here lingering at 76, and I was like, if the stock is so high, why hasn't the company put out news about a secondary stock offer, a secondary price offering? It's a dilutive. It can be a dilutive event, usually bearish, and usually leads to a sell-off. It's kind of like an avenue for people who are been invested in the company, who have like a big bag to unload. That's pretty much their cue to sell the shares and to bring the price down and to take advantage of this massive move that you see right here. So I took a short position on it yesterday. Where is it at? So this was my entry right here, 5 minutes before the market closed, and then I held the price target that I have on there is $60 or lower. I ended up taking profits in the morning after like the first hour when it got close to $68. Again, like I always tell you guys, it's important to take some money off the table as the stock is moving in your direction. All right, so this contract went from 2.1 to 4.5, and there is a lot more room to drop. This was only the first day, and there is more room at the bottom, so I want to share this one with y'all in today's video. This is a bubble, all right? And typically, I love trading bubbles, right? Because once you catch the top, you just let gravity take over and just do the work for you. It's very nice. So I expect a 2-day drop. Day one already happened. The next day should be, we should see a drop, hopefully down to $50, and hopefully it doesn't play too many games. All right, so that's my thoughts on Root. Now a quick update. We gotta look at Uber, I think. Yeah, we gotta look at Uber. So with Uber, it hasn't had a day where it closed below that line. I drew that structure for you. I think it was like on Sunday or on Monday or Tuesday. I don't remember. It was one of these days. I told you to watch it for a drop all the way down to 70. And since then it only did this. It's been teasing below this level right here, and then after the CPI report, it dropped again to that level. And today it really couldn't push up, and with the Nasdaq and the SPY pushing higher, it's been lingering in here. So you have to be patient and you have to wait. Eventually it's gonna make up its mind, kind of like how Apple made up its mind today, and moved to that red band. I did warn you guys that it could happen. I did warn you guys that it could. So congrats to anybody who actually made money on this thing. It broke above this line of resistance, and then they put out some news and hyping the stock up and pushed even higher and went way above where these individuals are. So where is it going to go next? I don't know. And typically there's two ways this can go. Typically with big moves like that, with a huge candle like this, we can see a small doji occurring tomorrow a little bit higher at around $176. All right, kind of like what happened here between February 2nd and February 5th right here. Okay, now the next one is brutal, because this one is going to hurt a lot of greedy bulls. If you got it and you didn't take your money off the table, the worst case scenario for you is for this thing to actually form this. This is probably the worst case for you, like a doji like that. Very, very disgusting price action, and it's going to take out annihilate all of the gains and all of the profits from today. Okay, it could happen. I'm not saying that it will, but I've seen, especially if we see the indices dropping overnight, this one is also going to follow suit, and it's going to open lower, and it's going to look like this. So just keep that in mind moving forward. So that's my honest thoughts on all of these stocks, and that is the end of the video. Do not forget to hit the like button. As always, remember, I make these videos from Sunday to Thursday at exactly 10 p.m. Eastern time. All right, so definitely click on that subscribe button and click on that notification bell. That way YouTube notifies you whenever I release these videos. If you'd like to be part of a private Discord community, we can get all of this information in real time as I see them. You can find that as the first link in the description of the video below. Also, don't forget to follow me on social media at Paul and Guman at Patternology Lab on Instagram and on X. And lastly, to get some free stocks with Webull, you can use the third link in the description of the video below. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Patternology Lab, where we trade patterns and patterns only. And I will see all of you on Sunday night.